All those opposed? The consent agenda passes. Mary, we're looking for Cheryl. She's got the first new business item. While we're waiting for Cheryl, everybody had an opportunity to see and hear from and question the two firms that were brought forward. Has everybody been comfortable with the qualifications of the firms as far as being able to execute the duties of city attorney? Is there anybody that is not comfortable with their ability to execute the duties? Okay. That being said, I'm wondering if is there would everybody feel comfortable just whether or not they identify Hardwick Law Firm LLC as preferred over McEnany, Van Cleve, and Phillips?
Well, I think they bring two different sets of expertise to the table. I think from the standpoint of purely municipal law, I think that MVP is probably a better fit. From the standpoint of bringing a wider range of legal services to a municipality, I think that there is definitely something to be said for Hardwick. So I think that from that perspective, I think that we need to kind of very carefully consider both, and really at the end of the day, I think it comes down to what's going to be most beneficial to our community and the negotiated price for services.
Okay. Well, and that's more or less the reason that I'm asking the question is that if we're going to be authorizing the city administrator to negotiate a contract, it's going to be easier if we could negotiate with one person, with one firm, as opposed to trying to negotiate with both at the same time. But in my own personal opinion, we're in a no-lose situation here. I think they're both very well qualified and very capable, and I'm just looking for a 1 and 1A type situation so that Cheryl knows who we should be talking with first.
Well, I was going to say my opinion was I felt MVP would have been my 1 and Hardwick would have been my 1A, simply because I felt that in their presentation, I felt that they hit everything spot on as to exactly what we would be looking for from a city attorney services. Understanding there's a broad spectrum for that, but I also believe, I mean, I think Hardwick really spoke to that broad spectrum, but I think MVP also showed that they have the ability to do that as well. That's my opinion.
I think, I mean, having read the resumes and the applications, I think I was predisposed to say Hardwick was the one, but you know, they have a depth of experience, but mostly it appears on the petitioner side of city government, and I really felt like MVP had experience, real-time experience, and real-time success with the mayor being in that group of having actually been there and done that. And what I heard from that firm that I think really makes a distinct difference in what, you know, how each firm could service, but what I think brings them to the top is that they continued, or, you know, repeatedly talked about quality of life versus economic development. And I felt like Hardwick was all economic development and really hadn't sat in that chair much.
Yeah, I'll echo a lot of what Larry said. I think that the thing that kind of tips my scales in the favor of MVP, and understand, when I was looking at the documentation, I was very impressed with Hardwick. And if we can't have an agreement with MVP, Hardwick is a great place to fall back to. I'll be honest with you. MVP has the experience. They have served many municipal governments. They also have an understanding of school law and understanding school tax finance that is going to be huge when we're talking about the tax levies and how they break down between the city of Gardner and USD 231. and how we're going to manage that relationship. I think they come with some experience in that area, and that's why I asked the questions that I was asking regarding school law. And so MVP, understanding they have the experience, they have the knowledge and the specialized information that we need to have in this government. I think that MVP is 1 and Hardwick's 1A with me.
I'll agree. I think it was after the presentations is a little bit more obvious than by resume that MVP's experience in the day-to-day operations as a city attorney, I think, was a little bit deeper. And I think they'll understand some of the role of sitting in the chair that Mr. Hubbard occupied for so long, maybe have a little bit more experience they'll be able to lend to and preparing for agendas and things like that. So I'd be comfortable with the 1A, 1B scenario as well.
I agree with everybody. At first, when I read all my packet, I agree that I thought that that the other was better, but MVP, once they presented, I like the municipal background. I like that they actually have experience being a city attorney. They don't maybe have the niche stuff like the other people, and they're certainly not maybe as funny as the other people. However, I don't think a lawyer needs to be necessarily funny, so I would say MVP is my top choice.
Well, when it comes to marching orders as far as who we want to negotiate with primarily, I think you've got those. Is there more information that you want to share with us about your approach to doing this before we move on?
No, I think I have what I need.
Okay. At this time, we would open the floor to public comments regarding new business item number 1. That being the case, I'd entertain a motion for a recommendation.
I make a motion to authorize our city administrator and the staff of the city of Gardner to issue a request for negotiating for city attorney services.
Second.
Motion Shute, second Harrison, that we authorize the city administrator to negotiate a contract for city attorney services. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? There you go.
Okay.
New business item number 2. Authorize the mayor to make the recommended appointments to the Board of Zoning Appeals and Planning Commission. Little background. We're using a procedure that was spelled out in the governing body rules of procedure, which were adopted in March of this year. We had two positions available on the Board of Zoning Appeals, created by vacancies that came about from Tory Roberts ascending to a city council seat and Andy Copeland leaving the area, as well as 2 seats on the Planning Commission, resulting from resignations from Greg Godwin and Ray Manley. We notified the public. We took applications. Council had an opportunity to review applications. Councilmember Roberts, the city administrator, and I were part of the candidate interviews. We interviewed a short list of candidates for both positions, and what we're doing this evening is bringing forward recommendations for 2 people for Board of Zoning Appeals and 2 people for Planning Commission. The way that we did this the last time we made appointments was that we voted on each of the appointments individually. But at this time, if there's anybody that has questions about the appointees that are here to be decided today, would entertain questions about it. That being the case, I'm going to very quickly, I will mention all of the members in total. 2 members for Board of Zoning Appeals, Colleen Wertz, to serve the remainder of Tory Roberts' term.